In this video, we're going to cover some important PPC metrics to pay attention to for your law firm's campaigns. If you've ever gotten a report from an internet marketing company and have no idea what it means, or you're running your own campaign and you don't know what to pay attention to, then in this video, we're going to reveal the important metrics to watch for and how to evaluate the effectiveness of a campaign. Hey, it's Kevin Williams here from Legal Dynasty, where we help your law firm get more clients from your PPC efforts. If you're new here, be sure to hit subscribe, and all the links mentioned in this video will be in the description box below. Let's jump right in. I hear all the time from clients and prospects that they got a report from their internet marketing company and none of the numbers make sense to them. They see all these charts and graphs, pie charts and bar graphs and all these different metrics and tables of information, but none of it makes sense to them. They say, this looks good, but what does it mean to my bottom line? Why should I pay attention to this stuff? So what a lot of marketing companies will do is they're going to evaluate the performance of a campaign by impressions and clicks. And an impression is how many times your ad was seen, and a click was how many times it was clicked on. Those are pretty basic things. That's really not how a pay-per-click, especially a search campaign on Google, should be evaluated, because these are expensive clicks. This is not a branding campaign. I believe branding should be great. If you're trying to brand yourself with very expensive clicks, that's not going to be a very effective use of your money. You can brand yourself through all types of other forms of advertising, whether that's digital marketing. I mean, there's cheaper ways to brand yourself with digital marketing, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. There's lots of different social media channels that you can use to brand yourself on. You can use SEO as a branding tool. But search pay-per-click, while it can have a branding effect, its most effective use is going to be lead generation. So evaluating the performance of a campaign by impressions and clicks is not going to be the best use or best way to measure the performance of this campaign. When I go in and look at a campaign, some of the important things I pay attention to, obviously number one is the spend. How much money is the campaign spending? I really want to know where the money's being spent, what cost is being accrued in the different campaigns, what keywords are spending the most, and what's the performance and effectiveness of them. How is the budget being used? Is it being used wisely? I think one important metric to pay attention to is CTR for a search campaign, and that's click-through rate. Click-through rate is important because click-through rate is clicks over impressions. So how many times was your ad clicked on versus how many times it was seen. That's important in search because the higher your click-through rate, the better your campaign is performing. Google actually rewards lower click prices to those who are performing well with a higher click-through rate. When I talk to a lot of prospects and clients, they say, well, I don't click on those ads. I don't think anybody does. To be honest with you, a lot of people don't. But you only need a small percentage of those people to click on, people that are searching to click on your ads in order to have an abundance of targeted traffic and leads coming your way. And click-through rate, an average click-through rate is anywhere from 2 to 5%, 5% on the high end being great. We've seen click-through rates as high as 10, 15% on some certain phrases in very tightly focused campaigns. Click-through rate is something that we look at and pay attention to. You as an owner of a firm, it's not a metric that you necessarily want to make business decisions on, but as somebody looking and evaluating the performance of a campaign, I want to know if I'm getting a high click-through rate. That's going to determine how well some of these other metrics are performing, including your ad rank. Okay, the next metric that I would pay attention to and look at in a campaign is search impression share. So basically, search impression share is how much of the available impressions are you capturing. So you're bidding on a bunch of keywords, and search impression share is a percentage that measures your coverage of the available search inventory there. And it's determined by ad rank and also budget. A lot of it's tied to budget, but it's important to know that. These next two metrics within search impression share are just more granular ways to look at search impression share. You have search lost impression share to budget and search lost impression share to rank. Search lost impression share to budget basically means how much of the available inventory are you missing out because you don't have enough budget. You're spreading yourself too thin, whether that's due to your ad schedule, how long you're running your ads throughout the day. You might be eating up your budget. You might be spreading yourself too thin to utilize your whole budget throughout the day. Your location settings, you might be spreading yourself too thin on your locations, and also your keywords. You might be spreading yourself way too thin by using too many keywords and not able to focus in on your core keywords. When we launch a campaign, what we recommend doing is starting starting with a tightly focused group of keywords and maxing out and getting us close to 100% impression share on those keywords before expanding your base. And that language and the keywords you use are going to grow over time naturally, but you want to make that core set of keywords work right up front. All right, the next one is search lost IS rank. And that's another way of measuring impression share. It's making it more granular, and it's letting us know how much of your impression share is lost due to ad rank. And that could be tied to your low click-through rates, so your campaign's not performing, which means you're not running relevant ads to the keywords you're using. It could also be a poor landing page experience. So what happens when people land on your landing page after they click an ad? Are they clicking the back button right away? Are they not spending enough time on the landing page? That all goes into how your rank is calculated. And if you see that you're losing this, these are both percentages, budget and rank. And if you're losing percentages to either, you can evaluate, okay, I'm losing impression share due to budget and I'm losing impression share due to rank. Once you know that, you can then make decisions. Okay, I need to either increase my budget or focus in on my keywords more. Or if it's an ad rank issue, you need to address your landing pages, your click-through rates, your relevancy, how tightly themed are your ad groups? Do you have many keywords in one ad group and only one ad trying to appeal to them all? These all affect your ad rank. All right, now we're going to get into some metrics that are more important to you as the business owner. So how this goes into measuring the effectiveness of the campaign, its performance, and whether to continue with pay-per-click marketing or not. First is your cost per action. So if you're a law firm, this is basically going to be your cost per lead. And anything that counts as a lead gets measured. You have to measure it. You have to measure conversions. A conversion is considered a lead. It's an action that someone's going to take. It's going to be either a form submit, a phone call, a text message, or a chat. Those can all be considered leads, and those are actions you want to measure. And you want to measure them back to the keyword level so you can effectively know where to allocate all your resources and put your energy into one set of keywords versus another. So a lot of agencies and internet marketing companies will stop at cost per action, they're at cost per lead. They'll measure the effectiveness of a campaign by cost per lead. But you as a business owner, the law firm owner, that's not good enough for you. You need to know more metrics. You need to know what your actual cost per client is, because I don't know about you, but a lead has never paid my bills, it's never paid a lease, it's never paid anything. You've got to get a client in order to justify that cost. So that's why cost per client is so important. You need to know how much you're paying to acquire a new client. And that leads me to the next metric that you should pay attention to, and that is the lifetime value of a client. How much is a client worth to your business? You need to basically appraise your clients. Would you buy a piece of real estate without appraising it? I don't think so. So you need to know how much a client is worth to you and your business in order to know how much you can pay for it. And to calculate the lifetime value of a client, you want to calculate more than just the initial service that you offer them and what that covers. You want to evaluate how much repeat business, what percentage of clients form repeat business, what percentage of clients send referrals. If you don't have an active referral program in place and know your numbers of referrals, you should definitely get one in place, because that's huge. And everything goes into the lifetime value of a client, and you should always be focusing on increasing that value, because it means you're delivering more service and you're increasing the amount of value you get in return to them. So really these two metrics go hand in hand, the lifetime value of a client and then the cost per client. You really want to know first the lifetime value of a client, because then you know how much you can pay to acquire a new client. And then you can calculate your return on investment. So what return are you getting? For every dollar you spend, how much are you getting back in return? And you really should know this through every marketing channel that you run, not just pay-per-click, but really every marketing medium that you run. You want to know the return on investment, because if you have one medium that's getting 5-to-1 return versus one that's getting a 10-to-1 return, you'd want to put your resources into the 10-to-1 return if you can max out that effort. So knowing your return on investment is huge, and it's a really important number to pay attention to. In this video, we covered some important metrics to pay attention to for your PPC campaigns for your law firm. There's a lot out there, but we covered some important ones, particularly over on the right-hand side here. These are important to you as a business owner to make decisions on the effectiveness of a campaign and whether to really continue with the program or not. These other metrics, they're going to be less important to you, but a lot of internet marketing companies are going to send them to you in your reports and evaluate the performance of a campaign on them, especially impressions and clicks. You can't evaluate the effectiveness of a pay-per-click campaign by impressions and clicks, especially on search, because this is about lead generation. If you're paying 10s, 20s, even up to $100 per click, that's lead generation. So those those are expensive clicks. They're expensive because the quality of the lead is that much higher and that click is that much more valuable. So that's where all the cost came from, and it's competition. People realize it's a competitive lead and they're the next best thing beyond a referral. If you're interested in learning some more of these metrics, I just scratched the surface here, and really effective strategies on how to get a campaign up and running in as little as the next 2 weeks, and get my free book. It was written by me, a 12-year veteran of Google AdWords and pay-per-click marketing, and 2 veteran attorneys, and we show you how to get clients to your firm as little as 2 weeks. Just click the link down in the description and we'll send you your book right away.